it's Indie Expo day. I'm so excited. This year I'm taking the train down because the times are better this year. Last year, the train times from where I live down to Toronto weren't the greatest. I wouldn't have got there at a good time. But this year they've changed times, so it gets in at the perfect time. It gets in at 11 o'clock and the press preview starts at 11 o'clock, so it's perfect. Because the station's only like maybe 5 minutes or so away from the Hyatt where Indie Expo is, and so I figured it was perfect timing. So I'm on my way to pick up my friend who's coming with me. Her name is Michelle. I work with her, so I'm gonna go pick her up and then we're gonna go to the train station and get the train down to Toronto.
Everybody here when they say that this is an amazing event and it's so much fun, and it's really an awesome opportunity for indie brands to showcase themselves and for all of us consumers to be exposed to new and exciting products. So big round of applause for Indie Expo Canada. Okay, so we have a panel here today, and there's people who've come from the US, all over Canada. So if everyone could just introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about your brand or your blog and what you do. So. There we go.
Okay, I'm Sarah and I run Bee's Knees Lacquer, and so we're from the US, we're based in Virginia, so it's kind of a drive, but it's well worth it for sure. I'm Sammy, I'm owner of Cuter Cuticles, and I rode the train for like 42 minutes to get here today. I came yesterday because I didn't want to be rushed this morning, but I'm a Canadian brand.
My name is Michelle. I'm a blogger at MK Nails. My blog just turned 6 years old, and I came here from New York City. I drove over 8 hours. It was lovely.
Hi, I'm Amanda with Native War Paints. We are a US-based brand out of Michigan, about a 6-hour drive to get here. We specialize in shimmers.
Okay, so the next question is, how did you get into the indie business in the first place?
I got into it, we haven't even had our 1-year anniversary yet, yeah, so we're pretty new. But I got into it working with another company and then sort of branched out and started my own, so it's been kind of a roller coaster going on here, so.
I was someone who was doing nail art, like probably all of you, and I knew that my cuticles were dry and I wanted something to make them not dry. And from what I could tell in the market, there was only 2 cents you could get in cuticle oil. There was a pink sugar somewhere, and there was lavender, and that was all there was. So I started making my own, and then I started sending it to my friends in crazy scents, like bacon vanilla milkshake and things like that. And then people said I would buy that, and I've been doing it for about 4 years now.
I have a massive amount of nail polish. Even though I still make nail polish, I still buy a massive amount of nail polish. So one year, my husband and I have like 30,000 kids. And I wanted to stay home, find something I could do from home, so I had brought up, hey, do you think that I can get some supplies and learn how to make nail polish? I go, I have all this nail polish. I think it'd be something I like, it's something I'm interested in. And he goes, yeah, go for it, do it. So I get to stay home with my kids and make nail polish and still hoard massive amounts of nail polish.
Yeah, I think I speak for some of us when I say it for sure is a way to facilitate our massive hoards of nail polish.
So some of the brands on the stage are newer and some are older. So how would you say the indie scene has changed in the past few years?
Well, when we launched last September, and one of the things we had a lot of was polishes with Aurora shimmers in them, and I feel like Aurora has it's everywhere now. And now I think a lot of people are moving on to magnetic polishes, and that's something that we've been trying to stay on top of too. So.
I think nail care has become more prevalent, and now it's like myself, there's individual brands doing it as opposed to it just being an offshoot from a polish company. So I'm seeing more and more nail care out in the world, and that makes me very happy.
Sorry guys, I didn't know I was supposed to be up here. Sorry. As a blogger, I can tell you that the indie scene has definitely changed from when I was on the Makeup Alley boards in 2010, 2011, a long time ago. I remember it was all about these crazy, fun, chunky glitters that nobody could remove because none of us knew about the foil method in 2010 or thought about it. And I haven't seen a chunky glitter lately, and so now I see it's definitely evolved from, because I don't think I ever would have bought an indie cream in 2011, but now I love my indie creams and give me all of them. So it's definitely evolved, the tastes.
That was actually exactly what I was going to say. When I started out, everything was chunky glitters. I love chunky glitters, still love chunky glitters, and that's what the majority of it was. But now it's, like Sarah said, it evolves. New things come out, and it's Aurora pigments and the holographics and all the different stuff, but chunky glitters still have my heart. I don't know what the question is. I'm sorry.
Start with, who are you?
Oh, I'm Leanne LaRoe with CBO.
And how has the indie scene changed in
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Whenever I first started, it was, people were like, what is an indie? They had no clue what an indie was, and everything was OPI and China Glaze, and now I've seen a huge turn to where people are getting away from OPI. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they aren't doing near as much mini collections anymore. And I think that we've really made an impact on they're going like gel nails and things. It started out with chunky glitter. And we had the sinking problems and the curling, the taco problems. And it's evolved so much now to where it's just a fine art. You don't have those problems anymore, and there's so much more geared toward indie now, where you couldn't find the ingredients for these polishes. And I personally feel that the indie market is going to take over the mainstream market. I see a lot of indies going mainstream, as well as you're still going to have your niche market, but I think it's going away from a niche market into a mainstream market, and through word of mouth, and just because we're a lot more creative than the mainstream brands are now.
Maybe if each of you could just speak to what one of your biggest struggles has been, and maybe your biggest triumph as an indie brand.
I think for us, our biggest struggle was just how to get started. We ended up, I think, being pretty lucky with one color in particular being super popular, and that sort of carried us over. But getting people to know who we were and to recognize our brand was definitely our biggest struggle. So I'm not sure what in the future that struggle will be, but I'm excited to keep going in the business. So. Sorry, that was really loud. The biggest triumph would probably be when that one color took off and became super popular. House on Haunted Chill is still our best-selling color to this day, and I don't know that we would be here without it, so I owe a lot to that color for sure.
My biggest struggle and my biggest triumph are kind of the same thing, funnily enough. I have a day job, and the more that Cuter Cuticles is successful, the more I have to find time to really focus on it, stay creative, stay engaged, and meet the demand of my customers. So while it's also my biggest struggle, things like Polish Pickup and Indie Expo last year actually made me figure out ways to be more efficient, to make things on a greater scale, and to be able to meet the demand more successfully. And I think at this stage in my business, I do that really well. So I balance a life, a family, a second job, and Cuter Cuticles itself, and I think pretty successfully.
I think my biggest struggle is actually similar. You know, we have a lot of kids, and right now I'm in the thick of it, where I have a baby. You know, so that's one of the things that I'm trying to work on. Where, you know, before I could get, you know, shipping times and, you know, stuff same day, next day, where it's taking me longer because I have to work overnight, and that baby still doesn't sleep overnight, and so it's taken out a lot of time in my day. But it's definitely worth it, you know, to be at home and be able to do what I love and be with the people I love. I think maybe the greatest triumph, just these events. I mean, I remember it was just like, you know, a sparkle in somebody's eye a few years ago when we go to these a few times a year, and it's just so enjoyable, and we always have such a great time, and you know, it's good to see everybody and meet new people, get to socialize with all the other brands, and it's a great event.
I think we're all probably on the same plane with the struggle. It's time. I never have enough time to do anything. I try to take my business into, I tried shutting down except for a week out of every month and just doing pre-orders so I'd have more time with my family. That didn't work. It just seems like I never have enough time. For my sons and I bought motorcycles. We got a wild hair and we bought motorcycles. I haven't been on it in 2 weeks, and I see them take off and I'm like, I want to go with you. My triumph is being really good and saying, you know what, this can wait till tomorrow. Let's go for a ride. Let's spend some time together. Because now that they're working all the time, I'm trying to get their time. And whenever they were younger and I worked all the time, they were trying to get my time. So we've kind of meshed a little bit. And whenever I get home, I'm taking a week off to go riding with those boys. And I guess that's my biggest triumph, is being able to see that there's more important things in life sometimes than nail polish.
So this question is probably most relevant for Michelle, but how would you say the trend of indie beauty has affected your own blog and how you interact with your readers and the nail community?
When I started my blog, it was kind of when indies were coming into the scene in 2012. But really what got me into blogging was nail art, and so I had mainstream polishes for the most part, and then I would do nail art with them. And what happened is as indies came out, I saw all these really fun finishes, because what I was used to doing was taking these cream shimmer polishes from OPI, China Glaze, you know, all those brands, Ulta at the time too. And then what happened is I would start to show all these new finishes with the chunky glitters, and then I would start to do gradients with the glitters over them. And actually, the indie polish scene moved me into swatching. And I actually didn't do that for probably the first year of my blog. And so it really did move into show all these beautiful polishes. And then I had to kind of find myself again and bring back the nail art. So what I started to do is swatch the collection, and then I'll do nail art with them. And I think so that's how my blog changed. There was no swatching for the first year when indies were brand new. If I ever swatched an indie, it was with art, so I do something over it. So that's how it kind of changed. And now it's all about indies. I would say it's like 70%, maybe 60% indie, 40% mainstream from who I still work with. And it's just a totally different finish. When I'm swatching for a mainstream and it's a collection of creams, there's just really not that much interest in it from the indie people, but I see a larger scene of people who still love creams. But indies really like to push it, right, with all the different, let's add some Aurora shimmers, the flakes, and I really do appreciate seeing how the creativity of everyone taking 12 different finishes, I don't know, and putting it to one really cohesive polish helps. And I really just love supporting small businesses, so I like to share that with all of my followers. Yeah, thank you guys.
Okay, we have just a few moments because we're going to wrap it up so everyone has time to bid on the auction. But maybe if each of you could just say a few words about what you want for the future of indie beauty and indie nail polish. Maybe what you're dreaming of, if there's some magical ingredient you want to appear somehow that you can use, or your one dream for the future.
I just want to be able to stay in the business for the future, but since I know my husband is listening back there, I will say his dream is to have 3D pigments that actually stick off your nail. That's what he wants for the future, and he would be mad if I didn't say that, so.
He's a very smart man. I guess I'd like to just see us keep going. Let's just keep doing this. Let's make it bigger. Let's be even more mainstream. Let's get even more of our friends into it. Let's just keep going. I just want to keep doing it and keep being creative. And I hope that you all do too.
I think what I want to see from indies, coming from someone who doesn't know how to make polish at all, is I really do miss, there's been less cohesive collections, just less collection releases in general. Not that they're not cohesive, that are. So I think I miss collections. I know that the single release polishes are the it thing right now, and I love them too. But I think I miss seeing well put together themed collections, just because, the one limited edition for 1 week a month, is taken over. And I love that, but I really also love seeing collections.
I think that what I would like to see out of the indie scene is just, for some of them, me, maybe, Leanne, Sarah, who knows, to actually go mainstream and be as big as OPI and China Glaze, Essie. I think that's one of the main things that one of these days I hope somebody does it. And, we're super popular like those brands too, and everybody, it's just a household name.
I think that there's probably one that's getting ready to go mainstream. I love nail polish. I love Barb and Jason. They are, I've been to their operation. I've heard people say, oh, they don't make their polish. She hand mixes every polish. I have been to her operation. I've spent time with them. They are, the combination of the two, I think they're unstoppable. And Barb is so creative, and their business mind is just, I'm in awe of those two. And I think that it'll be a short time. I know she's working on things that I can't talk about. But I think it's going to be a short time when you see her in stores. And Tonic, I don't know about Tonic. I mean, she needs to be in stores because she is amazing, but she doesn't have time. I think that's the time constraint, and what it would cost to go mainstream is amazing. I mean, you're talking buying, kilos and kilos of ingredients, and to be able to afford to do that is almost impossible. I would like to see indies. I would like to see a cheaper, have the same quality products, but these ingredients are expensive. and to be able to have a better price point on the things that are available to us. Like if I order Auroras, I have to order a kilo per color, and there's what, 10 colors now? That's a huge investment. I see it going mainstream, but it's going to be really expensive to do so. But I really think that indies are going to overtake the mainstream, and if we could all work together, I would love to see indies working together. And if we wanted to buy 1,000 gallons of base, and of course you can get that a lot cheaper, let's all pitch in and do that, so we can get these better prices to indies, and there's not such a disadvantage to the smaller indies as there are to the larger indies that can afford more.
Tough. I'd like those shipping drones to be foolproof so that I can get your stuff to you next day.
Okay, so I think we'll wrap up now, but thank you to our panel. Round of applause. And we have less than 10 minutes left on the auction, so I think the winners will be announced shortly. So if you want to bid, get your bids in. It's going to a great cause, and yeah, thank you everyone for coming.
Hi guys, so while I was editing the vlog, I realized that I never actually ended it. It's probably because by the time we left Indie Expo, we went and grabbed some food, and we walked from the hotel to a burrito place, grabbed a burrito, and I just couldn't walk anymore because my bag literally weighed almost 15 pounds. So I'm not lying, like here's a picture of how much my bag weighed. It was heavy. So we got an Uber from the burrito place to the train station, got on the train, and then by the time I got home it was almost 10 o'clock, and I pretty much laid down, fell asleep. So I didn't actually end it, but I do want to say to Pam and to all the organizers, thank you again so much for a wonderful day. It was absolutely amazing, even better than last year. I had so much fun. I can't wait till next year. I'm really hoping that I can go next year. If it's there's a weekend in June that I have to go to a wedding next year, so as long as it's not on that weekend, I should be good, fingers crossed. So hopefully I can get to go next year if it's in Toronto. It was an amazing day. I had so much fun, and I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me to come as press again. Really, this is the highlight of my summer. Unfortunately, I don't have anything going on that's going to be as exciting as this. So, but I have all this wonderful polish to use now and to play with over the course of the summer. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to have a couple of videos coming up that will touch on some of the things that I got from Indie Expo, because I have the new concert series by Girly Bits that I want to do a swatch and review video on. I also have the Rogue Lacquer Girly Bits exclusives that are going to be coming onto their website very, very soon. So I have a couple of things that I want to do that are Indie Expo related that will be coming in separate videos later on down the line. So just keep an eye out for those. If they are Indie Expo related, I will kind of like put a note in the title or in the opening of the video. So anyway, thank you again so much to everybody who came and said hello to me and chatted with me. I hope you all had a wonderful time as well, because it was just, there was so much going on. I spoke to a lot of people, but the work people that I missed talking to, which was kind of sucked. Like I didn't know who they were, like face-wise, if you know what I mean. I know a lot of usernames, but I don't know what you actually look like. So I apologize if you were there and I didn't say hello to you. It's probably because I just didn't recognize you. But to everybody who did come over and say hello and introduce yourselves, now I know faces to names, which is really, really nice. So thank you again so much to Pam, to Girly Bits, and to everybody who was there at Indie Expo. It was an amazing day, and I can't wait till next year. So thank you very much, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.